Good evening, Rattlers. Happy Sunday. Welcome to round three, week three of our virtual candidates forums for FAMU National Alumni Association. This is for the candidates of the office of second vice president. We're going to start off. Let me apologize first. We did have some technological issues, so more will be joining in. And this session is being recorded and it will be available on the social media platforms in the near future. So right now I want to kick it off for a welcome from our president, Colonel Gregory L. Clark. You now have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to the committee for what you've done to pull this together. Thank you to Eric Butler for coming on and being the host and moderating this. And on behalf of the Board of Directors of the FAMU National Alumni Association, I bring you greetings. Tonight, this evening, we were here from our candidates for the office of second vice president. As with the first and with president, all three are highly qualified. So sit back, take a listen. This position has a lot to do around the areas of education. And so sit back, listen, and critique what they say tonight. And I have all confidence that all three can lead in this position. And we look forward to hearing from each and every one of them tonight. Thank you so much and enjoy the tonight's forum.
Thank you, President Clark. I am Joy Davies, the chair of the nominating committee, and we are the ones that have been hosting these candidates forum. For those of you in the audience who are familiar with the Zoom platform, we have intentionally removed a number of the features. So it is being recorded and it will be available. Now tonight, we are here for the office of second vice president. So let me give you their duties. For the qualifications for second vice president is that they have to be an active dues paying alumni member of the association for the current year and one of the past 2 years. Attended and registered at least one type of each national meeting within the past 3 years, working knowledge of Robert's Rules of Order, parliamentary procedures, the association constitution and bylaws, and policies and procedures for the association. They must be a strong follower, willing to take orders and produce, a team player, committed to serve until the term expires, supporter of the university and the association, and willing to perform presidential duties in absence of the president. They also preside at national meetings in the absence of the president and first vice president. They chair executive board meetings in the absence of the president and first vice president, serves as a member of the Distinguished Alumni Awards Committee, which represents the association. They work closely with students on campus through the Student Government Association and the Student National Alumni Association to recruit students to the association for the purpose of developing better student alumni relations. So we have 3 candidates with us, and the first candidate we have is Victor Gaines. Candidate Gaines, can you please wave? Next, we have Yolanda Pinkard. Candidate Pinkard, can you please wave at everyone? And last but not least, we have Patricia Shaw. Will you please, Candidate Shaw, please wave? All righty. So next, we have someone who is familiar to all of us, our resident hype man. He is it. We have Eric Butler, also known as Captain EB. He is my homeboy. He is a 1993 graduate with a Bachelor of Science in Healthcare Management. He does reside in the Central Florida area in Orlando with his wife, Chanel, who is a 1993 pharmacy graduate. They have 2 boys who are also at our alumni at FAMU. Their Brandon is a senior majoring in civil engineering, and Jalen is a freshman in the School of Business and Industry. EB works in state government, and he is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. All right, you're in for a special treat because he is our hype man. So I am turning it over to you at this time. Captain EB, you have the floor.
Good evening, Joy. Can you hear me?
We hear you.
All right. Good evening. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for the introduction. I appreciate you reaching out to me. Colonel Clark, good evening to you as well as all of the three candidates this evening for the second vice president forum. It is my job to set the standards tonight. This is the first ever candidates forum, so we're going to set the standards high tonight. You all have been given the ground rules for this evening and reviewed them in advance for each candidate. Each candidate will have a minute and 30 seconds for the first opening statement, and we'll provide the insight as to who they are. And then after that, they will have a minute as far as the closing statement. And then we will have 4 questions tonight in which each candidate will have a minute. Now, the rotation as far as telling us about themselves, the introduction and the closing statement will go in this order. We will go with candidate Gaines first. Second will be candidate Pinkard, and third will be candidate Shaw. That will be tell us about yourself. That will be the opening statement, and that will be the closing statement. The 4 questions will rotate as far as the individuals. I will let you know the order before giving you the questions, so you don't have to panic as far as that is concerned. At the end of the questions, the candidates will be able to provide a brief statement. You don't have to use all of your 1 minute and 30 seconds on the introduction, or you don't have to use all of your minute at the closing statement. We will have a timekeeper. Who's the timekeeper, Joy? Is the timekeeper available? They can show their the timing lights, or do we have timing lights? Okay, that is the timing light. So Joy is going to wave that to you when you about 30 seconds out, and then she's going to really wave it to you when you over time. So don't get too long-winded. I know 90 seconds seems like a long time, but you don't have to give all your salutations tonight. So you can kind of jump into it and tell us who you are, and a minute goes by really fast. So we will get into our forum tonight. And once again, welcome and thank you all for attending. So candidate Gaines, good evening to you, sir. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good evening. I am Victor Gaines. I'm the proud husband of Kayana, who is one of the top realtors in Tallahassee, father to Amara, Dallas, and V2. I'm a former head drum major of the Marching 100, a professional photographer of almost 30 years. I love bowling and love to bicycle when time permits, and spending time with family and friends. I'm a business analyst with a BS degree in computer information systems, founder and first president of the Marching 100 Alumni Band Association, life member of both the Alumni Band Association and the NAA, having been awarded the Distinguished Alumni Award in 2015. I've served the NAA since 2002 in various elected and appointed positions, most recently as assistant director of the NAA convention, membership in archival committees, and Florida region treasurer. While president of the Leon County chapter, we started the Student Move-In Project, where we collected over 2,000 bottles of water to for our incoming students and their parents while moving into the resident hall. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Gaines, for introducing yourself to us tonight. Next up, candidate Pinkard, will you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, greetings and humble salutations, Rattler Nation. My fellow candidates, thank you to the nomination committee and host for hosting this evening. I am Yolanda Pinkard, a native of Decatur, Georgia, by way of Prince George County, Maryland, and Leesburg, Florida. I am a 3rd generation graduate of FAMU, part of that incoming class of 1990, and I graduated, thank you, Lottie, in 96 from CIS. I began my work in '96 with IBM, where I am still employed. I'm currently the IBM Communications Operations Leader for Latin America and Canada. I've been a member of the NAA since graduating, and I became a life member in 2002. I'm also a member of the Metro Atlanta chapter. Since 2016, I've served as the NAA Southern Region Vice President, where I've chartered over 7 new chapters, been both the first and the third recipient of the Regional VP of the Year, the second Alumni of the Year, Convention and Technology Co-Chair, 2019 Distinguished Alumni Awardee, and so much more. In addition to the Game Day Classics coordinator, I humbly ask you consider me to serve as your next candidate, the second VP, where my platform is carrying the torch forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Candidate Pinkard, for introducing yourself to us. And finally, Candidate Shaw, good evening. If you could introduce yourself to us.
Yes, thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. My name is Patricia Shaw. I was born in Quincy, Florida. I'm a proud graduate of FAMU College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, currently known as Florida FAMU College of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Science Institute of Public Health. I live in the beautiful city of Fort Lauderdale. I have been a member of the NAA for over 20 years and have attended 10 national conventions. I am a life member, served as the Florida region at large for 6 years under the dynamic leadership of Maurice Pinkard and Jean Downing. I am your current FAMU second VP, elected in 2019. I am also the current president of FAMU National Alumni Chapter, Broward County. I have one son, daughter, Jamie, both are FAMU graduates, and one granddaughter, Truth. I attend Mount Hermon African Methodist Episcopal Church. Reverend Trey Green is my pastor. I'm a member of the NAACP, and I'm also a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Candidate Shaw, for introducing yourself. Next time you go to church, tell Reverend Green that EB from St. Mark sends his salutations and greetings. So all 3 candidates have introduced themselves. You heard from Candidate Gaines, Candidate Pinkard, and Candidate Shaw. We will now move into the opening statements from all 3. They will still be in the same order in which they introduce themselves: Candidate Gaines, Candidate Pinkard, and Candidate Shaw. So at this time, you will hear the opening statement from Candidate Gaines. The virtual forum is yours, sir.
Greetings. I am Victor Gaines, a 2015 Distinguished Alumni Awardee and life member of the National Alumni Association, currently serving as the director of the NAA Convention. I've served the NAA in various positions since 2016, serving as treasurer of the Chicago chapter, later serving as parliamentarian, and 2 terms as the president of the Leon County chapter. I served as head drum major of the Marching 100, as I mentioned before, and am the founder and president of the Marching 100 Alumni Band Association. I have a BS degree from FAMU in computer information and am currently employed as a business analyst. I'm running because I feel that we need to bridge the gap between our students and the FAMU NAA. Our partnership with the SGA and student NAA is critical to our success as an organization, and I feel that my presence here in Tallahassee, along with my experience leading various organizations, makes me the perfect choice for your next second VP. I will be an active participant from the day our students arrive on campus until the time they graduate. While Leon County Chapter President, we participate in the student move-in, assisting our students, incoming students, and encouraging our rattlers to join the NAA. The relationship between the NAA and its student organizations is critical to our growth, and I will work hard to build that partnership and provide whatever assistance I can. Our success depends on their success. A vote for VRG is a vote for servant leadership, transparency, and collaboration.
Thank you for your opening statement, Candidate Gaines. We appreciate you. Next up, opening statement from Candidate Yolanda Pinkard.
Thank you so much. And again, I'm so happy to be here with you all. My platform this year is carrying the torch forward. I've done a lot within the association under the auspice of the Southern Region Vice President, where I've also served as the convention co-chair and the technology co-chair. I've worked a lot with the students. Under my platform, I'm using the word caring. And with that, I have 3 to 5 points underneath it. So when you think about caring, you think about collaborating, alumni, relationships, recruitment, year-round activities, your image, how to navigate through the process, and goals. With all of those, I have 3 to 5 different points that I will discuss later on, but you can also find more about me at my Facebook page, Yolanda for FAMU NAA. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Pinkard, for your opening statement. Excuse me. Our final candidate with her opening statement tonight, candidate Shaw.
Okay, greetings once again. In 2019, you elected me as your second vice president. My campaign described me as someone who was engaged, dedicated, committed, passionate, and achiever who delivers excellence with caring. I'm here today to let you know I am still dedicated, committed, passionate, and an achiever who delivers excellence with caring. My platform is ACT, with focus on aligning, connecting, and training with a focus on student recruitment. This platform stemmed from my involvement with your National Student Recruitment Program over the past 3 years. The first order of business when I was elected was to align the NAA with the university. Our bylaws reference the NAA Recruitment Committee as a committee composed of representation from all regions. The current committee includes members from your Florida region, Southern, Northeast, Midwest, and 4 West. We have engaged in workshops presented by the university in all areas such as admission, student activities, financial aid, technology, just a few to name. My platform also includes the Student National Alumni Association, which during the pandemic, they were inactive. So working with them to reactivate them on campus, we had to be very careful with the restriction that were put upon us for the CDC and the guidelines that they provided. Safety was the first and foremost during this time. However, the students was able to connect by Zoom and other digital platforms to continue their platform. I am so happy to say that now they're back on campus, ready to engage and go forward with their recruitment effort. The advisor, Jenny Berry, and President Kevin Sykes, Vice President London Campbell participated in the Day at the Capitol and is currently planning to present at the upcoming preview on March 26th. Alumni.
Thank you very much, candidate Shaw. I think you went a few seconds over, so we do definitely appreciate it. Everyone, you've heard the introduction of themselves, as well as the opening statements from all 3 candidates, candidate Gaines, candidate Pinkard, and candidate Shaw. Good evening to all 3 of them. We will now move into the question answering portion of our forum tonight. There are 4 questions that have been submitted by the alumni that have been drawn, and I will give them out. They are in different orders, so I will give each question. I will let the candidates know the order in which they will speak. You will have 1 minute to answer the question. That is 1 minute. You will see the signs that will be given as far as your 1 minute. Now, if you do want to follow up as far as answering the question, you can take up to another minute as far as the follow-up is concerned. That is at my discretion. I don't have a problem with that. If you have follow-up, I'll send you my Cash App in the link as far as you can send that to me as far as paying some extra dues if you need an extra minute tonight. But our first question tonight, and we will go in the order as follows. It will be candidate Pinkard, candidate Shaw, and candidate Gaines. Once again, for our first question tonight, candidate Pinkard, candidate Shaw, and candidate Gaines. Question number 1, what is your vision for the National Alumni Association? Candidate Pinkard.
Thank you for that question. And so my vision truly is to support the president of the association in a manner that makes both logical and factual sense to move the association forward while supporting the university, to challenge things that I do not agree with and offer doable solutions to accomplish whatever we may reach. But again, my vision truly is to support the president of the association and making sure that we are staying true to the mission of FAMU, the mission of the association, and putting the students forward to ensure that the students have a much better experience than we may have had, because they are our future leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Candidate Pinkard. Once again, Candidate Shaw, you will be up. I will repeat the question for you. What is your vision for the National Alumni Association? Candidate Shaw.
Okay, sorry, it was muted. Thank you so much. Sorry about that. My vision for the National Alumni Association is to continue to provide quality service to our alumni so that they could be able to receive information in a timely manner. We also want to make sure that, according to my platform act, that we align our alumni with the university strategic plan, connect our alumni, our non-alumni, everyone with the university so they will be able to come in and get all the information needed to go forward. And the last thing is the training. We want to make sure we train our alumni so that they'll be able to continue to move forward with the training that we give them as we go forward. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Candidate Shaw, for your answers to the question. Our final candidate, Candidate Gaines, I will once again repeat the question. What is your vision for the National Alumni Association? Candidate Gaines.
Thank you. In my position as second vice president, I would want to continue to grow through our students. I mean, this is the one piece that we need to work on, to try to increase our participation with our students, collaboration with our internal and external organizations, just to make sure that we're all aware of the changes that happen, on campus, off campus, you name it, to increase our campus presence and to continue to support the NAA where needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all three candidates, for your answers to question number one. We'll move into question number two, with our order being as follows. Candidate Gaines, you will go first. Candidate Shaw, you will be second. And then Candidate Pinkard, you will be third. Once again, as Candidate Gaines, Candidate Shaw, and Candidate Pinkard. Our question, second question that was submitted tonight reads as follows. What is your plan to stimulate the alumni community and chapter to create programming to recruit students to FAMU? Let me repeat that question. I'm sorry about that. What is your plan to stimulate the alumni community and chapters to create programming to recruit students to FAMU? Candidate Gaines.
I think the first thing that we have to do is really establish a presence here in town, in the city, with our students. With doing that, we have our students are from all over the country. And I think that by establishing that communication with them, that would be very critical in terms of our successes. Branching out from there, going to the local chapters, going to the regions, putting together, seminars, webinars, anything to keep them engaged, as well as keep them excited about not only coming to FAMU, but staying at FAMU, continuing their education at FAMU, finishing it within 4 years, and then becoming members of the National Alumni Association.
Thank you very much, Candidate Gaines, for your answer to that question. I do apologize, when you got new eyes, Joy, you can't send me these big questions now. You got new eyes, and I'm out here trying to read this small print. So we're gonna go as follows. Candidate Shaw, you'll be next. Let me repeat the question to you, ma'am. What is your plan to stimulate the alumni community and chapters to create programming to recruit students to FAMU?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. Currently, what we do with the alumni is that we try to make sure that we go to our current schools, the local schools in each community. And through going to the local schools, involving the PTA and parents and other associations, we try to bring FAMU in so that we know that FAMU is there. We also invite them out to our recruitment fairs that we're having, I would suggest for everyone to invite your parents and your associates and your community out to the recruitment fairs, because there they can learn about FAMU and what their students are doing in the community to make sure that they're getting the right information to attend FAMU.
Thank you very much, Candidate Shaw. And our final candidate, Candidate Pinkard, once again, I will repeat the question. What is your plan to stimulate the alumni community and chapters to create programming to recruit students to FAMU?
Thank you so much for that question. And so for me, this one falls under 3 of my points, actually, for recruitment, year-round activities, and navigating. And so for this, communication is very, very key. We need to make sure that we are communicating to our chapters and potential students what the process is to navigate through admissions at FAMU. Share that knowledge. Make sure that chapters know the correct do's and don'ts of recruiting, doing the trainings, making sure that they're familiar with the admissions.famu.edu website, where there is a plethora of information. And again, just really communicating. I like to say that if something's not written down, it did not happen. So for our chapters, for them to really get stimulated, we have to communicate with them and let them know what the correct things are in knowledge and listen to what their ideas are.
Thank you very much for that, Candidate Pinkard. We are halfway through our 4 questions for the evening tonight. So thank you, 3 candidates, for your answers to our first 2 questions. Our third question answer will be as follows in this order: Candidate Pinkard, Candidate Gaines, and Candidate Shaw. Once again, Candidate Pinkard, Candidate Gaines, and Candidate Shaw. Question number 3 reads as follows: how do you plan to work with the Student National Alumni Association so that current students will be future contributing students of the alumni to the NAA?
Okay, thank you for that question. So this one touches on my I for image. And so for this one, we want to strengthen the gap and bridge the gap between the NAA and the students as they carry the torch forward, reorganizing the Student National Alumni Association to be an effective tool. Show up for the students. It's very, very key that we are present for them and have them participate with us at things like home football games, the spring preview and commencement ceremonies. Work with the colleges to allow some of the enrolled students to receive credit for assisting the NAA with technology and journalist needs. Connect with the university's career center as well, and then really drive engagements with the SGA and Student National Alumni Association so that they're seeing things that we have to do, and we are really building those relationships and preparing them to be the future leaders of this association.
Thank you very much, Candidate Pinkard. Next up, Candidate Gaines. I will once again repeat the question. How do you plan to work with the Student National Alumni Association so that current students will be future contributing alumni to the National Alumni Association?
First thing I want to do is show up at their freshman orientations. You know, from the time that they graduate, we have the whole summer to talk about what they're doing, but we don't show up when they get here. So I want to show up there. I want to have a bigger presence at our freshman orientations. During the year, I want to establish some communication, at least one email to the current students each semester to see how they're doing, encourage them to do better. Meet them where they are. If they're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, wherever they are. I want to do that. Create an app to help make them join easier. Be where they are. And if they happen to, go on an internship, let's have that communication between us and the local chapters to let them know, hey, you got some students coming to your town. Let's, open up, roll out the red carpet. Same thing for when they graduate. Do the same thing. I want to try to make sure that our students are recruited. They know that we want them. We want their successes. And their successes will be our successes. Thank you.
Thank you, Candidate Gaines. Our final candidate for this question will be Candidate Shaw. Once again, I will repeat the question to you. How do you plan to work with the Student National Alumni Association so that current students will be future contributing alumni to the National Alumni Association?
Okay, thank you for that question. Currently, I am working with the Student National Alumni Association, and what they're doing now is that the first thing that happened when they came back on campus was they had to connect with the different chapters. And by that, I mean that they had to send their information to the chapters during the time that they're having their previews. They come in when the chapters are getting ready to come up to Tallahassee to invite some of the students in. They will be at the preview this year on the 28th to meet those students that they have been in contact with. Some of the students also will be calling other students to come out and help with them. Most of the times the presidents of the chapters come up and they will interact with the students while they're coming up to previews and communicating with them that way. We want to make sure that they know what the NA, Student National Alumni Association, is first and foremost.
Thank you very much. Thank you once again for all three candidates on your answers to the three questions. We'll move into our final question for the evening before we go into your closing statements. Question number 4, the order will be as follows: Candidate Shaw, Candidate Gaines, and Candidate Pinkard. Once again, Candidate Shaw, Candidate Gaines, and Candidate Pinkard. Candidate Shaw, the question reads as follows: what has had the greatest impact on the NAA's ability to support FAMU? Once again, I repeat that. What has had the greatest impact on the NAA's ability to support FAMU? Candidate Shaw.
Okay, thank you for that question. There's a number of things that has had an impact on the NAA ability to support the university, but personally, I feel that alumni giving and fundraising is one of the university's greatest constituents that alumni could give is fundraising. According to the US News report, it said that alumni giving in 2021 was 6.9%. And we are expected to be higher this year because we had such a tremendous time at homecoming last year. So I am sure that the alumni giving and fundraising is going to be higher this year than it had been in the past. So I would say definitely alumni giving and fundraising.
Thank you very much, Candidate Shaw. Candidate Gaines, I will repeat the question to you as you are up next. What has had the greatest impact on the NAA's ability to support FAMU? Candidate Gaines.
I think as a whole, I think our collaboration has been really good. Being able to reach different factions of the university, including, those that are on campus, those off campus, around the country, around the world, touching on some of the things that we need, being there when we need our students and alumni to be there, from being there at, say, going to Tallahassee for FAMU Day at the Capitol, to being in those types of scenarios and places that we need to be in order to support what we do. Fundraising has been a great tool for us, and I want to make sure that we're doing the things that we need to in order to continue that and increase it. So over the next 3 years, I want to work on making sure that we continue to do those things to help us to move forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our final candidate tonight for this question, Candidate Pinkard. Once again, I will repeat the question to you. What has had the greatest impact on the NAA's ability to support FAMU? Candidate Pinkard.
Thank you for that question. So the G in caring, supporting the university's strategic plans and goals, we've always done that. But honestly, the biggest thing for me has been the implementation of the Save Our Students Scholarship Fund under President Clark. Students do not have to apply for this award funding. It's based on working with the University Office of Admissions. So helping to reduce the student debt, to me, has been the greatest thing. And that helps also students to be able to re-enroll and graduate. So then we get into the university strategic goals with that. And then as Candidate Gaines stated, the FAMU Day at the Capitol is also very good and impactful, where we are advocating for the university for overall awarding funds to help students offset their student debt so that they can graduate, reduce the things they're thinking about as far as trying to pay.
Thank you very much, Candidate Pinkard. That ends our 4 questions of this evening. You have heard from all 3 candidates, Candidate Gaines, Candidate Pinkard, and candidate Shaw as far as them introducing themselves, their opening statement, and the answers to the 4 questions. I will allow them all. I know you've been talking for a few minutes. If you like to get you a old drink of water, or kind of quench your thirst. I know sometimes you get a little tongue tied when you're on these Zoom platforms. Red Solo cup probably not good for your platform to drink from right now. But if you like to get a drink of water as we prepare for the 1-minute closing statement, each candidate will have 1 minute. As far as their closing statement is concerned, we will go in reverse order as we did in the opening statement and to get to know our candidates. So we started out with candidate Gaines, candidate Pinkard, and candidate Shaw. So we will reverse that order, and candidate Shaw will go first. Candidate Pinkard still remains in the middle, and candidate Gaines at the end. Once again, you have 1 minute as far as your closing statement is concerned. We will now hear from candidate Shaw.
Okay, thank you. If I'm re-elected as your second vice president, I will continue to act ACT, making sure that alumni are aligned with the university's strategic plan, connected with current and up-to-date recruitment information and technology, and lastly, receive the training and education alumni need in order to be effective with student recruitment, which needed in order to continue the legacy for the #1 HBCU in the world. I ask for you to vote for me, Patricia Shaw, as your returning second VP. I am the change you needed, the voice you deserve.
Thank you very much, candidate Patricia Shaw, for your closing statement. We'll now hear a closing statement from candidate Pinkard.
Thank you again for your time this evening. To learn more about me and my platform and questions, visit my Facebook page at Yolanda for FAMU NAA. I am Yolanda Pinkard. I humbly ask for your support to serve as your next second vice president as we continue carrying the torch forward. We will collaborate with the NAA fundraising committee to help secure scholarship dollars, connect and utilize alumni talents, improve relationships with the Office of Enrollment and Admissions, recruit talent that will advance the overall Alumni Association, standardize operations and procedures year-round in the area of student recruitment and awarding scholarships, strengthen the image between the NAA, alumni, not yet reclaimed and currently enrolled students, implement effective processes to navigate through the university's admissions process, and support the university's strategic goals. Stay safe and keep striking.
Thank you very much for your closing statement, candidate Yolanda Pinkard. Our final closing statement from candidate Gaines.
Thank you for this time this evening. In closing, I'd like to remind you that our NAA presence in Tallahassee is essential. As your second VP, I will hit the ground running and will make sure that our scholarship process are improved, our commitment and communications to our students increased, and I will work hard to make sure that our local support is seen and felt. Feel free to contact me at VRG, the number 4, famu@gmail.com or 847-530-7539 should you have any further questions. I just want to close by saying I am that Rattler, a resourceful, active, transparent, tireless leader who is excited and ready to lead. Lastly, I want to say congratulations to our incoming SGA President, Zachary Bell and Makira Burns. Vote VRG for your next second VP. Thank you.
Thank you very much for our candidates forum tonight. For the candidates that are vying for second vice president, you have heard from candidate Victor Gaines, candidate Yolanda Pinkard, and candidate Patricia Shaw. This concludes the moderated portion of this week's candidates forum. We will now have closing remarks from President, my man, Colonel Greg Clark. Colonel Clark, you there?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I am here. And thank you for everybody that tuned in tonight, this evening for this event. I think it was very informative. Now, engage each one of the candidates, learn a little bit more about their platforms. And we close to April the 5th when the voting starts. So looking forward to seeing outcomes of the election, and congratulations and best wishes to all the candidates. So I'll turn this back over to Joy for final remarks.
Thank you very much. Thank you, EB. I owe you a dinner when I come to Orlando the next time. So I appreciate all the candidates for sharing your platform with our family. And again, this concludes tonight's portion. Hope to see you next week when we hear from the candidates of the office of third vice president. Stay safe and have a wonderful week, Rattlers. Good night.
Thank you.
Good night.